brings you to the Future of Television conference?
Well, we were here to speak on the very lively last panel that was about the most controversial aspect of the show, cord cutting.
What is cord cutting?
Cord cutting is a phenomenon that is highly controversial. The cable industry would love you to believe that it's not happening. However, increasingly, the metrics in the marketplace show that people, as they're becoming more educated about their options, are in fact looking at their cable bill and going, why am I paying a $150 cable bill with IVTV and Netflix for $15 a month? You have live television and all the movies you could possibly want to watch. Whereas the average cable bill is $71 a month, and every single year incrementally, regardless of how well the economy is doing, the cable companies, increase that monthly rate. It's not a sustainable model. It's much like the music industry was in 1997, 1998, where they were determined that they could keep us, continually buying a whole CD for $20 as opposed to going to an iTunes wanting to pay 99 cents for a song. They were not able to sustain that, and we see what happened. That industry is falling apart, whereas Apple now owns the music industry and is giving people what they wanted, 99-cent songs. So it's kind of like, in the next year or two, I think we'll see the cable industry being at a tipping point where they can embrace technology. Credit Suisse put out a 72-page treatise on the entertainment industry earlier this year saying that cable companies and content owners have their destiny in their own hands by the decisions they make today, right now. Do they embrace technology and give consumers change, or do they just try and defend these bundle pricing where you have to pay $150 for 300 channels you're never going to watch? If you ask Nielsen how many channels people watch, it's around 8 to 20. So shouldn't they be allowed to just pay for the 8 to 20? Why do they have to pay for the 300? And of course, this is very disruptive to the established industry, and they would like to try and slow that down or prevent it if they could. So Ivy came to market with a really great lightweight app. Any internet-connected device, like your laptop, soon your iPad, you download a really lightweight app, you double-click on it, and it's just amazing. It all of a sudden turns that device into live broadcast signals from ABC, NBC, CBS. We have more content than Hulu. And it's live linear television. We have DVR that we will add in later, and the charge is $4.99 a month. So as you can imagine, the established players aren't so happy about that price point, and so they've tried to label us as a pirate and all kinds of ways to try and make it controversial. But the truth of the matter is, we went to the FCC first to ask them if they can govern what we do, so that we could do the proper legal mechanisms that way, and they pointed us to the Copyright Act. And like 16,000 other companies, such as AT&T's Uverse, all pay the exact same way that IVTV is paying under the Compulsory Act to the Copyright Office. We report what content we use, and we pay under that system. So this, attempt to paint us as pirates is just, it's to try and create this into a copyright issue when it's actually a competitive issue. It's an anti-innovation, anti-competitive issue under the guise and the smoke screen of camouflage of copyright, which is just, it's a disingenuous argument.
So you have TV shows on Ivy. Do you have movies as well?
We will soon have movies. We are in advanced talk. If you download the Ivy player, you will see a button that is not active yet. That soon you will be able to click that, and you will essentially have a Netflix-like experience there. And so you will be able to rent or buy or movies there.
So what percentage do you think currently, right now, of our consumers are watching TV still on television, and who are watching on the web?
It's a constantly changing number. From my personal experience, what happened to me is I blame this all on Steve Jobs. It's a good thing, though. I went and bought the largest screen iMac you could get, and I brought that home. And in the corner of my living room, I had like a 52-inch flat screen television, and in this corner, I had the biggest iMac screen you could have. And being of a generation that multitasks, that IMs and does social networking and tries to watch TV at the same time, I found the experience of sitting there and watching my iMac with Ivy and Netflix. I think Ivy and Netflix are the two most disruptive but consumer-friendly things out there, because you can then watch what you want, when you want, how you want, minimize the app, still do phone calls, chat. And next thing I knew, I once in a while look into the corner of my television and realize, why do I have this 52-inch television anymore? And it doesn't exist anymore. It's gone in my living room. It's just an iMac. So I think it's constantly changing. I think Google TV and Apple TV are interesting things. They're just such poor consumer experiences right now. In these early stages, things are too difficult for consumers. It's still easier just to go buy cable and do that way, but you're just paying way too much. So what Ivy is all about is, trying to accelerate the pace of innovation and say to cable companies and broadcasters, there's an a la carte model there that instead of you losing that revenue altogether, embrace a la carte, let people pay for the 20 channels that they want and still make money off of that rather than losing them altogether. Because let's be honest, some of these BitTorrent sites are so sleek and so well programmed that you can find yourself at abc.com or whatever watching, the broadcast channel and that kind of, and then find yourself sort of segueing into something that's a BitTorrent experience. But it's so well done, you don't even know that you've gone from something that's legal into something that's pirated. So if they keep sticking their head in the ground and trying to ignore these advances in technology, they're going to find themselves in the same boat as the music industry. And I live in Hollywood. I own real estate in Hollywood. I have many friends who are filmmakers and TV, producers. I want to see that industry do well and continue to do well. So they can't, do what the music industry did and ignore innovation. And to his credit, the gentleman, Mitch Singer, who is the present CTO of Sony Music, was involved with digital at Sony during the whole music debacle. And what he will readily admit to today, and you have to give him credit for it, is the worst thing that we did was trying to sue away technology. All of these lawsuits to try and stop digital music was a huge fiasco, and we basically lost the music industry. And we can't do that again. Our future is in our own hands, the decisions we make today.
Well, thank you so much. And is it ivtv.com?
It's ivtv.tv.
Very cool. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.